Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 38 of Future, and this one is titled Jinny, Chisuki, and Soshi. Kiri looked up at Kaminari, and they shared a little grin about what could possibly be going on here before the door opened again, and a gasp rippled through the women present. Kaminari turned his head to see who had walked in and smirked. Of course, he would get that kind of reaction. Shoto, Todoroki, and Soshi had just arrived. "Hey, bro!" Kiri called, waving Shoto and Soshi over. Shoto bowed to the women who were sitting there with mouths gaping open. "Thank you kindly for having us," he said politely as little Soshi bowed beside him. "Tiku," he said brightly with a brilliant grin. "His eyes," one mother gushed under her breath. "I know, right?" another whispered. "That grey and blue just pulls you right in." "Oh," said the first. "I was talking about baby Soshi's brilliant orange orbs." "Oh," the other mother replied sheepishly. "I'm a bit of a Todoroki fan, don't mind me. I stand Daddy Todoroki hard," she said with a fangirl giggle on the end. Shoto strode over towards Kiri and sat down on the other side of him as Soshi toddled over to Jinny. "Hey, old friend," he said cheerfully. Jinny smiled up big and said her happiest, "Hi!" Chisuki scowled and scooted closer to Jinny, putting an arm out across her front and staring daggers at Soshi. "No," he said bluntly. Kiri had to cover his mouth to stop the laughter from coming out. Chisuki was quite protective of Jinny already. "That's my boy," Bakugou sneered. "You keep your girl to yourself." Kaminari and Kairi had sat down hand in hand opposite the group of UA boys by now and were having a good chuckle at the amusing interaction of the three hero kids. It was clear that Jinny was going to be the centre of attention from these two boys, and Chisuki had already laid claim to her as his own. "Do we start planning the wedding now, or?" Kaminari whispered, giggling to Kairi. "Do they even make wedding dresses that small?" she replied cheekily with a giggle. "It's super cute though. I ship Chi and Jin." "What about a cute little Soshi?" Kaminari said sadly. "He's adorable. He needs a girl. Wait, I'll wingman him. Who do you think he'd suit?" he asked, taking the conversation on a whole other tangent. Kairi and he spent the next 10 minutes discussing all the other children in the room as to who would suit Soshi the best, and after settling on a particularly gorgeous little toddler, Kaminari decided to have some fun. Getting up from his seat, he knelt down and crawled over to the 2-year-old in question. "Hey, cutie," he said playfully as she looked up at him. "Cammy," she said happily. "You see that cute guy over there with the orange glowing eyes?" Kaminari said, pointing to Soshi. "What do you think? Pretty?" The little girl tilted her head and gazed at Soshi. "Do you want to play with him?" Kaminari asked. "He looks like he needs a pretty friend like you," he said, glancing at the giggling Kairi and throwing her a sly grin and a wink. The little girl nodded and hopped up, toddling over to Soshi, who was still trying to befriend Jinny, but failing as Chisuki blocked all his advances. "Hi, Fuen," the little girl said, approaching Soshi. "Toy?" she added, holding out some blocks to him. "Come play." She took his arm after he took the blocks from her and dragged him over to her mum to play at her feet. Kaminari wore a triumphant grin and fist pumped the air. "Nailed it," he said proudly. "There you go, little man. Got your lady all your own now, plus ultra." Kairi had lost it by now and was in a fit of giggles. Kaminari was such a goofball and she loved it. The lengths that he went to get Soshi a little friend was heartwarming. Chisuki and Jinny had well and truly hit it off by now, and a few times Jinny had given him a cuddle, which left him looking super confused, but he never pushed her off. Kiri, Bakugou and Todoroki spent a lot of time talking, and eventually Kaminari joined them and introduced them to Kairi. All 5 sat and chatted, and Kairi was just so happy with how far she had come. Her sister, the leader of the mothers group, was super happy to see the positive change in her sister too, and was planning on thanking Kaminari profusely at the end of the meeting. Kaminari," the leader called after the meeting had ended. "Can I have a word with you?" Kaminari stood up, and Kairi stood up too, but her sister shook her head. "Just Kaminari, please," she said. Am I in trouble?" Kaminari asked Kairi nervously. I'm not sure, but if she even dares tell you off about anything, I'll be down her throat in an instant," Kairi seethed. "Oh, protect squad activate?" Kaminari laughed. "I still remember the first time I met you. If you could have killed me on the spot, you would have." He gave her a kiss on the cheek. But now you'd kill everyone else for my sake. Damn straight, boy, she replied triumphantly. You've changed my life, she added with a heartfelt smile. I'm grateful. Kaminari smiled and kissed her again. Anything for you, gorgeous girl. He squeezed her hand one last time and then walked over to the leader. What's up, Teach? He said candidly. What have I done now? He chuckled. Only good things, she said with a smile. I just wanted to thank you so much for all you've done for Kairi. She's so much happier these days, and it's all thanks to you. Oh, no need to thank me, Kaminari said with a defensive hand wave. I really like her. She's beautiful inside and out, and I just want to show her how special she is. Treat her like she deserves to be treated. Kairi's sister smiled. You're a charmer, but I know you mean everything you said. She's lucky to have you. I'm the lucky one, he said with an award-winning smile, turning to head back to Kairi. The leader smiled as she watched them embrace again. She was so happy to see her sister had found Mr. Right. And there ends chapter 38. Stay tuned for chapter 39 coming tomorrow.